Well, hello, my lovelies. It's Murky Meg here. Well, hello. I'm Murky Meg, and if you are not a fan of Harry and Meghan, maybe this isn't the place for you, so maybe go find another YouTube channel. Thank you so much for everybody's support. It really does mean the world to me. After taking a prolonged break, coming back was kind of daunting. I didn't know whether I would be received positively, negatively, whether people would still support me, and you guys have absolutely blown me away. I am filled with love and support, and it just feels amazing. So I just wanted to take a little bit of time to thank you guys. You are utterly fabulous. Thank you. And I must say, I'm thoroughly enjoying being back on YouTube. It is really heartwarming, and I think I've got my teeth back into it, haven't I? So enough with the sentimentals. If you haven't already seen my latest video, I've popped a link in the top right hand corner. If you want to click on that, it will take you to it. I discuss the intriguing emails between Meghan and Harry, I should say, team and the Harlem school that they visited in September 2021. The British media have done a freedom of information request. Oh, that was a bit of a mouthful. Freedom of information request to find out exactly what happened in the Harlem school. Now remember, this is one of New York's most poorest of schools, and they made students and teachers sign an NDA banning them from releasing any negative comments. Negative. Not positive. You can talk, you can praise them all you like, but don't say anything negative. Otherwise, you'll be in big trouble, which is very controlling for two people that don't like misinformation. But more shocking things have come out from this freedom of information request, and quite frankly, I am astounded. Now, you know I'm no fan of Harry and Meghan, but this really does take the biscuit, as we say in the UK. I didn't think that they could stoop much lower. Here's what's going on. It seems prior to them visiting the school in Harlem, they weren't happy with the decor. Yes, that's right. They weren't happy with what the school had to offer. And the reps raised the idea of new cushions and a carpet for their visit in 2021. Now, this information has come out through the Freedom of Information Acts and the emails that the Daily Mail have obtained. And Harry and Meghan's representatives raised the idea of bringing cushions and a new carpet to a public school to better fit with Meghan's aesthetic. Now, the emails show the Archwell staff had a say in which school they would visit. So, of course, they chose one of the poorest ones because, hey, gotta get those likes in, haven't you? Oh, look, we're such good philanthropists. We go to one of the most poorest schools in New York City, and aren't we good people? These emails show multiple edits of press releases to make their appearance sound more substantial, and even amend the public diary for the top school officials. It also shows that, as I suggested in my previous video, British tabloids were banned, but only the tightly controlled and restricted Meghan-friendly publications such as Vogue and Hello were allowed at the event. As you can see from the email here, it says, just one flag. Under no circumstances shall we let in folks from the 4 UK tabloids, Daily Mail, Sun, Mirror and Express. The second part of the email from Kirsten Brothwell shows exactly what it was, and that this was a fully charged PR campaign. It says that updated RSVP list is attached. There are 11 broadcast outlets, 17 photographers and 7 print radio reporters, including New York Times, New York Daily News, AP and New York Post. We include them on the admissions list. A few other things to note. A number of media are letting us know that their NYPD credentials are expired and that they're under the impression that they have an extension. We've heard this from photographers and reporters. If all others are okay with the OWO vaccine requirements, demonstrate at least one dose, I will confirm the photographer who mentioned she has proof of one. E! News is requesting a post-event B-roll, and Access Hollywood plan to watch the live stream. The Access producer asked if pre-registration is required. Here's the email with regards to the filming request. It's from a head of unscripted at Archwell Productions. It says, thanks for the introduction, Toya. Hi Danielle, it's wonderful to meet you via email. Thank you for reviewing our film request. While we await your feedback, I wanted to make sure I understand the most efficient way for us to collect the appearance releases. Toya mentioned there is a blanket release that all students and staff signed at the beginning of the year. Would that cover our shoot, or would we need to get additional, more specific consent forms signed by all participants in the next 2 days? And reading the actual emails, which I'm going to put on the screen, it does seem like there was a lot of back and forth with regards to videoing the children. Here is somebody from Archwell who is emailing part of the educational department. It says, I hear from colleagues that the meet and greet with the principals and teachers, PRH staff and Graham Wyndham team will now occur inside a classroom. Would we be able to have our videographer film that moment, since it will be in a separate area from the interactions with the kids? The response is, yes, I'm good with it, so long as the teachers are cool with it. These are professional people. Who talks like that? Cool with it. Another part of the email, it says, just following up here, this is somebody from Archwell to the Department of Education. If the concern is about filming the kids, then we could perhaps restrict our coverage of the event to only film the interactions, meetings with the teachers and other adults. Would be happy to oblige. Here's a little doozy from Archwell to the Department of Education. While the content could be used in a future documentary, it's not intended to be promotional in nature. Hope that helps clarify. Now, here's the issue that I have. They said it's not intended to be promotional in any nature, but they had 11 media outlets there. If that's not promotion, I don't know what is. Here is the appearance release that has been obtained. Now, it's interesting that the representatives, warranties and indemnity part, it says, I represent and warrant that I'm over 18 years of age, or if under 18, my parent or legal guardian will sign below to signify consent on my behalf to the terms and conditions of this appearance release. So that then, if it was the staff and students, now remember these are grade 2 students, then they wouldn't have been able to sign this legal agreement. It would have been their parents. So their parents would have had to sign this. The appearance release also says that the producer, which is Archwell, shall be the exclusive owner of the results and proceeds of any taping, photography and recordings that producer makes, whether such taping, photography and or recordings occur prior to or after date hereof. Now, this bit is interesting. Now, this was put out by the New York City Department of Education, and it was almost like a press release. Now, this is where they were very, very specific that they wanted to take out any promotional material, i.e. the bench. Because let's face it, that is exactly what this event was used for. It was promotion for her book, and they took issue with this. Can you see the bit where they've kind of formatted it? Because they didn't want it. They said it was too promotionally. And in one of the emails, the lady from the Department of Education said, would the content be used for promotional purposes of any kind? Unfortunately, our kids can't be featured in that kind of material, which is why the blurb about her book has been taken out. Can you imagine the amount of plates that would have been smashed? You set this up to promote your book, and then the Department of Education stops it. To be fair, they still got what they wanted because the bench was in full view. Here's a little bit of an interesting ditty. It's from Toya Holness of Archwell. She says, I like all of your edits except the bench section. That makes no sense, but there you go. If you take out all of the info about the book, I think it's weird to only have her bio and not his. Can we find a happy medium? And then the person, Danielle from the Department of Education, says, yes, totally. Just wanted to make it a bit less promotionally. Toya responds, makes sense. Let us take a stab at incorporating those edits and come back with an updated version for your approval. Here's an email from Toya to Danielle of the Department of Education telling her that Vogue might be coming tomorrow, to which Danielle responds with 3 exclamation points. Now, this is the bit that I want to really focusing on. This was from Penguin Random House, which is the publisher of The Bench. And this is emails between Random House, Penguin Random House, and Archwell team. So, Nicola Murphy, Communications, Archwell. Hi both, it was so nice to meet you both earlier today during the walkthrough. As discussed, I will be putting together a recap and can send your way for any additions, changes. I'm in back to backs for a couple of hours, but we'll have something later this afternoon. Let me know if there's anything I can do in the meantime. Then Dominique from Penguin Random House says, amazing, thank you. I'm in a meeting until 4, but we'll check in and do my best to review once you send ASAP. Danielle, can you share tent vendor recommendations? Also, my team is looking into all things carpet, cushions, decor, more to come. Now, what did they want to change about this school? Why do they need a vendor tent? Why did they need to change carpets, cushions, decor when they were just going to a school to read a book? This was purely for them, their promotion. They wanted it looking spick and span. They wanted it looking to fit Meghan Markle's aesthetics, and I think that's quite shameful. You know, they went under the guise of being philanthropists, but this just shows that it was purely a promotional event, which we all knew anyway, but it really does make it very, very clear of their intention to begin with, and the fact that the Department of Education had to tell them not to be so promotionally. They knew that this was all about selling books and that they were going to use kids to sell books. They told them no, but yet, come on, it still worked anyway. It was all about the bench, it was all about Meghan and not about the children. You know, the actual selection of the age range, which is grade 2, which is, I believe, about 7 to 8 years old, that book is not aimed at 7 to 8 years old because it's bloody boring. But what really, really grates me is the fact that they wanted to come in and change the school, change the aesthetics, bring in cushions, covers, carpets. You just don't do that. That's rude. Can you imagine how the children would feel if they had done that? Did they do that? That's what I want to know. Did they come in with a load of like home improvements and just go, right, well, that's not good enough, that's not good enough, we'll just spruce it up a little bit. Those poor children. Did Meghan not want to put her behind on a school chair that other people had sat on? I really am quite cross about this because it just shows the level of opportunism that they could go into a school and expect to flog books and use these kids as a promotion. And not only that, get them to sign a press release forbidding them from now and in the future from saying anything negative about the event. Change the aesthetics of the school, all to try and flog some crappy book. Do you know what? I'm really, really glad that the Daily Mail did a Freedom of Information request because it just shows the level of manipulation that can happen under the guise of philanthropy when in fact it's just promotion. It is absolutely ridiculous. And I hope she can hang her head in shame. She won't. She won't. She won't be embarrassed by this because, hey, that's what happens in show business, hey? That's what happens in the entertainment industry. You use people as commodities. These emails are absolute gems. They really, really are. And it just shows you the level of delusion that they think they can walk into a school and plug a book and that the Department of Education will just let them roll in. I'm so glad that the Department of Education actually pushed back a little bit, because goodness knows what would have happened if they'd have been given free rein. So I would love to know your thoughts on this. Is this just another example of Meghan Markle's own self-entitlement, expecting to get what she wants, expecting to come into a school and change it because she's visiting? Did she want the red carpet being rolled out? I bet you should. Oh, that would have been fun, wouldn't it? Roll out a red carpet for me. Do you think it is quite acceptable to request that they bring in carpets and cushions and nice furnishings for her to visit and the children sit around fawning at her while she reads her publication of the year, The Bench? Obviously that's sarcastic. Or do you just think it's another example of exactly just how manipulative and deceitful she really, really is? As always, I would love to know your thoughts. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell and also that like button. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of my followers for all the tips and all the emails, DMs that everybody sends to me. It really is greatly appreciated. So thank you very much for watching once again.